Finance, one of the most uncomfortable industries to be dealing with. Breach obviously happens more often than we're comfortable with, but we've got information emerging now, months later. It was rumored several months ago that, I hope I say this right, TRUIST Bank, TRUIST, you probably know immediately who I'm talking about, but they are now acknowledging that they were in fact breached, as data from their systems has now begun trickling out online. It's kind of forced their hand. The thing that I wanted to cover quickly, I dropped a piece on this as usual on my LinkedIn, but the thing that I wanted to cover quickly in this video is just how often is this happening? And I think the obvious answer, as we've seen just in the past couple of months, and the stories we've covered and the things that we've written about and created videos on, is it's happening more often than anyone in corporate America or in government is admitting, and that should be concerning either as a citizen or a consumer. Both identities in your life are impacted by this trend. And one of the things that has become a little grotesque to watch is mature American government agencies or companies seemingly playing PR games and CYA for as long as possible before really getting nitty gritty, admitting the breach, cleaning it up, providing, identity protection, whatever it is that they are trying to do to offset the risk and the loss for their clients, or whatever PII or PHI may be impacted in these events. So I think that the culture in these organizations of a certain size, and I'm not saying this is not an indictment, it's not a blanket statement. I'm not in any way, shape, or form indicating that I don't understand the human nature element here. Nobody is comfortable after a breach. Nobody wants to get out there on the media and say we royally screwed up, or we thought we were doing everything right and we left a door open and now a lot of people that trusted us are going to suffer for it. There's no part of that that's comfortable. There's no part of that that's desirable. So I certainly understand it from a human nature perspective. I do. But I think there's a responsibility for all of us that are in the business of protecting client information. And today, that's almost everybody. Nearly everybody out there who is and you don't even have to be transacting business. I was about to say it, but you don't have to. I mean, you could be running a church newsletter, for Pete's sakes, with mailing addresses and first and last names and prayer. Gosh, I don't even want to say it online because it may become the latest, hot topic next week when I make a video. But prayer chains, and these things where we're sharing private information on message boards and things like that. I mean, most of us are engaged in protecting privileged information, whether or not we think about it on a regular basis, but we are. So with that comes an element of responsibility. It has to. Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes you plan and you hedge and you leverage and you polish and you insure, but you're a target. You're a target by virtue of operating in the modern world. That's it. It's not any more specific or significant than that. I used to have a lot of different acronyms and adjectives I would use to kind of narrow down who's a target today, but it's 2024. It's not, I've been doing these articles and these and speaking about this long enough to where it used to be, if you're online, well, that's a foregone conclusion today. So I think that it's important as a culture, as a business community, as private individuals, maybe operating in organizations around the community. It's important for us to take the security of this information seriously, and if there is a problem, to own it. Own it. Get out in front of it. Admit there's an issue. Get as much help as quickly as possible to stem the damage, and get to work on cleanup. Just own it. And again, I'm a human being. I understand how easy that is to say. I'm not at TRUIST Bank. I don't envy the team over there right now. I don't envy the board. None of it. I don't. Nothing but empathy for them. Just speaking as a consumer and a citizen. Sometimes that's a little oversimplistic, but I think as organizations, one of the things that we need to stay vigilant about is that we have the same responsibility. We have the same trust placed in us every day we open the doors. So don't forget that. Focus on it. Remember, each and every client, whether or not we're thinking about it all the time, they think you know exactly what you're doing with their personal information. So harden the target, stay vigilant out there. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for clicking on this video. The article I'm talking about is always linked underneath, so check that out if you want to deep dive this a little bit more. If you like the content, follow us on any of the socials. We're releasing things all the time. You can grab this on most of the platforms that you're using every day. Hope you're having a fantastic one wherever you are today.